Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Jaydev joins me in this session. Welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all the viewers and thank you.
You're on mute, Jaydev.
I'm not audible.
Not audible.
So now am I audible?
Not
Am
audible.
I audible? I'm not audible now? No, I think the people can hear me. You can hear me now? Hello? Hello? Okay, I'll join again.
Just 1 second, friends. Thank you, Freebird. Sonita. I just add him again. Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah. Thank you.
Fine, great.
Yeah. So, friends, today we're going to discuss about the king of pop, the late Michael Jackson. As all of you, who are already present, waiting for the show to happen, many of you are remarking that this is the kind of death many intelligent, very talented people face, and this pattern is happening not only in India; it's happening all over the world. If you see. And also, I just want to take you, after Jaydev shows you the PowerPoint of some images, I want to take you to an exact conversation his daughter, Paris, had, with her media, which is reflective of exactly what Sushant Singh said. So Jaydev, could you just take us through the PowerPoint and explain those images for us?
Yeah, before that, I would like to add some comments. I was and still am a very big fan of Michael Jackson personally, and I still think that he's the greatest entertainer in terms of live performances, and no one has sort of surpassed him, in my opinion. Like even
Absolutely.
now, in the pop music industry today, no one has surpassed him. Whether it's Justin Bieber or anyone else like Justin Timberlake, this is my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of the people would agree with you because if in creativity, I don't think there's been anyone to beat him.
And especially even the dancers, the lead dancers in the world now, they look to Michael Jackson as the perfect source of inspiration. He was perfect in dance, and if dance ever had perfection, then Michael Jackson is the ideal person or god of dance for many dancers across the world.
Yeah, in fact, Jaydev, when I was in college in Baghdad, at that time, the Jackson Brothers CDs, cassettes, it was cassettes at that time, were out. Absolutely. And we used to really enjoy it and watch his sweet face.
Yeah.
And then he became the king.
Yeah, so I'll just share the PowerPoint.
Yeah. If you can take us through, Jaydev. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is Michael Jackson when he was small. And, he, as a little child, he achieved fame at a very, very young age. Okay, this was the magazine cover. And the next picture is of Michael Jackson's family.
Yeah, with
It-
five brothers.
yeah, they were called the Jackson Five, and even his sister, who's called Janet Jackson, she's a very big music star. Then you have old pictures of the Jackson Five,
Yeah, they were
which
called the
is
Jackson Five.
yeah. I mean, like Jackson Five needs no introduction. Like they are sort of like a phenomenon back in the late '80s and '90s, right?
Yeah,
Then you have Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross in The Wizard of Oz.
the
Guys,
movie.
if you remember the movie Wizard of Oz, in one of Sanjit sir's sessions, there are some symbols of the Illuminati also in that film. Then you have Michael Jackson's one of the best-selling albums, which was Bad.
Yeah,
Then you have Michael Jackson pictured with Diana Ross, who she's a very famous
and a
singer.
very good friend. Yeah,
Yeah,
very good friend of Michael Jackson. Right from when he was a child, Diana Ross was very close to this family, and especially to Michael Jackson.
yeah, and apparently Michael Jackson had a very big crush on Diana Ross. And in the center, we Michael Jackson's one of the most famous songs, in Egypt. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you have Michael Jackson's.
remember that was "Remember the Times."
Yes, yes, yes. And then you have Michael Jackson's all-time best-selling album, Thriller, and this broke a lot of Guinness Book of Records,
Yeah,
right? Then you have Michael Jackson with his wife Lisa Mary Presley.
yeah,
She is the daughter of the great Elvis Presley.
a very short
Uh,
marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then you have a collage of different
ages.
stages of Michael Jackson, like right before he had a skin condition, which sort of he bleached his skin from black to white, right? I think he had a condition called vitiligo, which is
Yeah,
leads to skin discoloration. Okay,
yeah,
so shall I stop sharing?
yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, going back to the words that his daughter Paris said to the media. In an
Yeah.
interview with the media, she said she was 18 years old when she said Michael Jackson would drop hints about people being out to get him. And at some point, he was like, they're going to kill me one day. Why does this remind you of SSR and what he had predicted in the last few days of his life and in his diary as well? Paris said she was certain her father was murdered and argued that it was obvious. So were the people who killed him? Was it the Illuminati? According to a conspiracy theory, they say it is the Illuminati. And if it is true, why? We'll go into the details of Michael Jackson's early life and his success and the assassination, and subsequently, whether the Illuminati had a hand in it. So this session will be in two parts. So we look at the first part, friends, and the second part we will discuss how the Illuminati would have had a hand in it. So looking at his background, Michael Jackson was a child prodigy who all his life believed he was Peter Pan and loved to live in a world that was a child's fantasy, which was perhaps how his fairyland Neverland was created. He was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of months shy of his 51st birthday 6 years ago. A 51st birthday, of course, this is some years back. In his lifetime, Jackson rose from his musical prodigy to be the most influential figure in the 20th century pop culture. He was born to Joseph or Joe Jackson, and he settled at the age of 18 and married Catherine Screws. Following their marriage, Joe and Catherine moved into a two-bedroom house on the corner of Jackson Street and 23 Avenue. Joe, an aspiring boxer and a musician, realized supporting his family would have to take priority, and he worked as a welder and crane operator at US Steel, sometimes holding 3 jobs at a time in order to look after his growing family. Catherine was a homemaker and a devout Jehovah's Witness. A singer and a pianist, she encouraged her children's musical talents. We were a family that sang all the time. Michael once said of his early life in Gary, we would take the furniture out of the living room and dance. We would have a songwriting competition while we washed the dishes. While we were cleaning, music was our destiny. But Michael would learn from an early age that his childhood was different from other kids. In his memoir, You Are Not Alone, Michael, Through a Brother's Eyes, Germain writes about looking out from their house at the decorated homes across the street when he was 8 years old and Michael was 4. We observed all this from inside a house with no tree, no lights, no nothing. Our tiny house was the only one without decoration. We felt it was the only one in Gary, Indiana. But mother assured us that no, there were other homes and other Jehovah's Witnesses who did not celebrate Christmas. But that knowledge did nothing to clear our confusion. We would see something that made us feel good, yet we were told it wasn't good for us. One of the few possessions Joe had kept from his musician days was his guitar, an item not to be touched by his children, according to Michael's 1988 autobiography, Moonwalk. His kids didn't listen, and one day Tito took out the instrument, breaking a guitar string in the process. Tito hid in fear of retribution from Joe. Michael writes, but when their father demanded to be shown what he could do with the guitar, Tito obliged, shocking his father and giving him the idea to form a musical group made up of his offspring.
Yeah, so friends, we see that Michael always had a very sort of bad relationship with his father, because he always was abused by his father. And in 1963, the Jackson Brothers was formed, featuring his brothers Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine. So they entered local talent shows and competitions, and by 1965, Joe added younger brothers Marlon and Michael, calling them the Jackson Five in 1966. So Joe, the father, he became the manager. So he was very strict, and Joe enforced long and grueling rehearsals for his sons in order for them to have their songs and routines polished. It is this co-opting of a childhood Michael would come to lament for the rest of his life. Michael often said he grew up in an adult world. So I grew up on stage. I grew up in nightclubs. When I was 8 years old, I was in nightclubs, he revealed in an interview. I saw striptease girls take off all their clothes. I saw fights break out. I saw people throw up on each other. I saw adults act like pigs. The Jackson girls were also subjected their father's aspiration for his children and his remoteness. You call me Joseph, Janet recalled her father saying after she once referred to him as dad. I am Joseph to you. Rumors of sexual abuse arose in the early 90s, with LaToya Jackson once accusing her father of the act. She would later recant the accusation, blaming her then husband for coercing her to say it. Michael was afraid of his verbally and sometimes physically abusive father. If one of his children stepped out of line, Joe was quick to discipline them. Michael once revealed in Oprah Winfrey's show he was so afraid of his father that it would cause him to vomit when he saw him. Physical beatings were not uncommon. I just remember hearing my mother scream, Joe, you're gonna kill him. You're gonna kill him. Stop it. Michael said during a 2003 TV interview. I was so fast, he couldn't catch me half the time. But when he would catch me, oh my God, it was bad. It was really bad. Michael recalled his father sitting in a chair with a belt in his hand, watching his sons rehearse, ready to punish them for any mistakes. Michael also called verbal abuse, in particular, his father repeatedly telling him that he had a fat nose.
Yeah.
So
In fact, yeah, that was what made him most upset, because his father used to remind him that he was an ugly child when he was not an ugly child, and that did give him a complex till the end of his life, because he kept on having surgeries, plastic surgeries, to change the shape of his face. And you'll
Absolutely.
remember, in the end, his nose resembled that of these cartoon figures.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay, going back to 1967, it was a banner year for the Jacksons 5 when they won an amateur talent competition at New York's Apollo Theater. Joe decided to take the group professional and 2 years later signed his sons to a contract with Motown Records, alongside acts such as Stevie Wonder, The Supremes. Just a second, friend. So, Stevie Wonder and The Supremes. One minute, please. Yeah. Yeah. Stevie Wonder, The Supremes, and Smokey Robinson. The Jackson 5 would dominate the airwaves of the late 60s and early 70s thanks to hits such as I Want You Back, Never Can Say Goodbye, I'll Be There, and ABC. The group would go on to sell more than 100 million records globally. Yeah, just a minute, friend. Some problem with this, with my screen. Just give me a few minutes. Yeah. So I'll just repeat that para again. In 1967 was a banner year for the Jackson 5 when they won an amateur talent competition at New York's Apollo Theater. And Joe decided to take the group professional and 2 years later signed his sons to a contract with Motown Records alongside acts such as Stevie Wonder, The Supremes, and Smokey Robinson. The Jackson 5 would dominate the airwaves of the late 60s and early 70s, thanks to hits such as I Want You Back, Never Can Say Goodbye, I'll Be There, and ABC. Many of you will remember these songs. The group would go on to sell more than 100 million records globally. It was following the group's signing to Motown that Joe decided to relocate his family from Gary to Los Angeles. Recalling their upbringing in Gary and beyond during a 2011 interview with ABC News, Jermaine said he and his siblings wouldn't want to be raised any other way than the way their father raised him. It's hard raising 9 kids, bringing them from Indiana out here to LA. That was his whole thing, wanting to keep his family together. And if he didn't do anything else, he brought us out. He taught us everything we knew about becoming what we became. Joseph believed that his sons had talent and molded them into a musical group in the early 1960s that would later become known as the Jackson 5. At first, the Jackson family performers consisted of Jackson's older brothers, Tito, Jermaine, and Jackie. Jackson joined his siblings when he was 5 years old and emerged as the group's lead vocalist. He showed remarkable range and depth for such a young performer, impressing audiences with his ability to convey complex emotions. Older brother Marlon also became a member of the group, which evolved into the Jackson 5. Jackson and his brothers spent endless hours rehearsing and polishing their act. At first, the Jackson 5 played local gigs and built a strong following. They recorded one single on their own, Big Boy, with the B-side, You've Changed, but the record failed to generate much interest. Yeah, Jede?
Yeah, Michael Jackson, was very much infatuated with Diana Ross. So Jackson and his brothers moved to LA, where they live with Gaudi and with Diana Ross of the Supremes as they got settled. So the Jackson 5 was introduced to the music industry at a special event in August 1969, and the group later opened for the Supremes. So their first album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, hit the charts in December 1969 with its single I Want You Back, reaching number one on the Billboard Hot 100 chart shortly afterwards. So more chart-topping singles such as ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. For several years, Jackson 5 maintained a busy tour and recording schedule under the supervision of Gaudi and his Motown staff. The group became so popular that they even had their own self-titled cartoon show, which ran from 1971 to 72. At the same time, Jackson launched his solo career. Despite the group's great success, there was trouble brewing behind the scenes. The group officially severed ties with Motown in 1976 through, though Jermaine remained with the label to pursue his solo career. Now, calling themselves the Jacksons, the group signed a new recording deal with Epic Records. By the release of their third album for the label, 1978 Destiny, the brothers had emerged as talented songwriters. The overwhelmingly positive response to Jackson's 1979 solo album, Off the Wall, helped the Jacksons as a group. So I think at this point of time, Michael Jackson was slowly getting away from the Jackson Five, and he was getting, he wanted to become a solo artist, and rather than a group boy band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, right. In August 1994, Jackson announced that he had married Lisa Mary Presley, daughter of rock icon Elvis Presley. The couple gave a joint television interview with Dinah Sawyer, but the union proved to be short lived. They divorced in 1996. Some thought that the marriage was a publicity ploy to restore Jackson's image after child molestation allegations. Later, that same year, Jackson wed nurse Debbie Rowe as he wanted children of his own, and she became a kind of surrogate mother. The couple divorced in 1999. Jackson and Rowe had two children through artificial insemination. Son Michael Joseph Prince Jackson Jr., born in 1997, and daughter Paris Michael Catherine Jackson, born in 1998. When Rowe and Jackson divorced, Michael received full custody of their two children. Jackson would go on to have a third child, Prince Michael Blanket Jackson II, with an unknown surrogate. The reason why he called him Blanket was that he liked the word blanket, and he used it for many other children as well, because he believed blanket was very cozy and it gave a lot of comfort to children. Yeah, Jete.
Yeah, in the 1980s, Jackson created a Southern Californian ranch called Neverland, a fantasy retreat for the shy and quiet performer that he is. He was never comfortable with the media, and he rarely gave interviews. So at the 2,700-acre property, Jackson kept exotic pets such as a chimpanzee named Bubbles. He also installed amusement park type rides and sometimes opened the ranch for children's events. So the home features 6 bedrooms, a pool house, 3 guest homes, and a 4-acre lake. So the mansion was put on the market for $100 million in 2015, and later relisted for $31 million in early 2019. In December 2020, the property was sold to billionaire Ron Burkle for $22 million. Michael Jackson was badly injured while filming a commercial for PepsiCo in 1984, suffering burns to his face and scalp. At the top of his game, creatively and commercially, Jackson had signed a $5 million endorsement deal with the soda giant Pepsi the previous year. So Jackson had surgery to repair his injuries, and is believed to have begun experimenting with plastic surgery at that time. So his face, especially his nose, would become dramatically altered in the coming years.
In fact, Jaydev, see, towards, as he grew older, his scalp, because of all these injuries, he had hardly any hair. And whatever
Yes.
flowing tresses that he had were all wigs that he used.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Then moving on to the next point, around the late 1980s, rumors began swirling that Jackson was lightening the color of his skin to appear more white and sleeping in a special chamber to increase his lifespan. In 1993, Jackson agreed to do a rare television interview with Oprah Winfrey to quell rumors. He explained that the change in his skin color was a result of a skin condition known as vitiligo, and he opened up about the abuse he suffered from his father. Allegations of child molestation against Jackson first emerged in 1993 when a 13-year-old boy claimed that the music star had fondled him. Jackson was known to have sleepovers with children at the Neverland Ranch, but this was the first public charge of wrongdoing. The police searched the ranch, but they found no evidence to support the claim. The following year, Jackson settled the case out of court with the boy's family. Over allegations emerged, but other allegations emerged, but Jackson maintained his innocence. In the 2003 television documentary, Living with Michael Jackson, British journalist Martin Bashir spent several months with the singer, even getting him to discuss his relationship with the children. Jackson admitted that he continued to have children sleep over at his ranch even after the 1993 allegations, and that sometimes he slept with the children in his bed. Why can't you share your bed? That's the most loving thing to do, to share your bed with someone, Jackson told Bashir. Now, here I'd like to tell you, viewers, that if you watch this interview with Bashir, you will find that Bashir asks some very sly questions, and he keeps pushing it, trying to get something out of Jackson. And you can see the innocence with which Jackson, responds. And at sometimes Michael Jackson just remains silent. And in all this, the interview, you find out that he's got a childlike quality, an innocence. And people wanted to misinterpret it as in different ways, as in, sexual abuse. In 2003, Jackson encountered more legal woes when he was arrested on charges related to incidents with a 13-year-old boy. Facing 10 counts in all, he was charged with lewd conduct with a minor, attempted lewd conduct, administering alcohol to facilitate molestation, and conspiracy to commit child abduction, false imprisonment, and extortion. The resulting 2005 trial was a media circus with fans, detractors, and camera crews surrounding the courthouse. More than 130 people testified, including Culkin. The actor told the court that he had been friends with Jackson as a young teen and never had any problems while staying over at the Neverland Ranch. Viewers, this is the same thing which happens in India. When you want, for example, the Sunanda case, it was a big news in just like a media circus at that time. But after that, nobody was there. No media was there to prove what had actually happened. Everybody was on Shashi Tharoor's side. Yeah, coming back here, Jackson's accuser also appeared via videotape and described how he had been given wine and molested. However, the jury found problems with his testimony as well as that of his mother. Jackson was found not guilty of all charges on June 14, 2005. Yeah, Jaydev?
Yeah, so by the turn of the century, that was 2000s, early 2000s, Jackson was increasingly becoming known for his eccentricities. He wore a surgical mask in public. Right now, wearing a surgical mask is very normal thanks to COVID. It's very strange, in my opinion. In 2002, Jackson made headlines when he seemed confused and disoriented on stage at the MTV Video Music Awards. In 2002, he received enormous criticism for dangling his baby son blanket over a balcony while greeting fans in Berlin, Germany. In a later interview, he explained that we were waiting for thousands of fans down below, and they were chanting, they wanted to see my child, so I was kind enough to let them see. I was doing something out of innocence. In the aftermath of his 2005 trial for child molestation, Jackson's reputation was effectively destroyed and his finances were in shambles. He soon found refuge in his friendship with Bahraini Prince Salman bin Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, who helped the pop star to pay his legal and utility bills and invited him to his country as a personal guest. In Bahrain, the prince took care of the singer's expenses and built a recording studio for him. In return, Jackson allegedly promised to collaborate on a new album for Khalifa's record label, write an autobiography, and create a stage play. The completed work never really materialized, however, and Jackson soon faced a $7 million lawsuit from his friend for reneging on his promises. In even greater financial straits, Jackson defaulted on the $24.5 million loan owed on his Neverland Ranch in 2008. Unable to part with cherished keepsakes, including the crystal gloves he used in performances, Jackson sued to block the auction of some of his personal items from home the following year. Around the same time, the largely reclusive Jackson announced that he would be performing a series of concerts as his final curtain call. Despite all of the allegations and stories of odd behavior, Jackson remains a figure of great interest, as demonstrated by the strong response to his concert plans. Set to appear at the O2 area in London, England, beginning July 8, 2009, Jackson saw all of his tickets to This Is It. That's the name of the tour, which sold out in less than 4 hours. Sadly, Jackson would never get to experience the anticipated success of his comeback tour, as he died in June of that same year. After Jackson's death in June 2009, his children were placed in the care of their grandmother, Catherine, as dictated in his will. In respect to their father's wishes, Prince, Paris, and Blanket were largely kept out of the limelight. They stepped up to the mic in 2009 to speak to the fans at their father's funeral, and again in January 2010 to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award posthumous for their father at the Grammys.
Yeah. So, friends, you would ask, like, how did he die? Now, this is very interesting because many of us don't know the actual truth of how he died. So here we had three police officers who were investigating. They were detectives who were investigating the case. It was Orlando Martinez, Dan Myers, and Scott Smith. So these police officers who were investigating the case found out that he'd been given injections and medicines by Dr. Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's physician. And the drug that was administered was Propofol. It was administered by intravenous drip, which was found in his bedroom. The doctor said he gave him the drug to help him sleep, as he was nervous about his European tour. It is, if you're talking about this drug, Propofol, it is supposed to be a preferred sedative in operating theaters because it is well tolerated and allows patients to recover quicker. But it is always done under medical guidance. Now, these detectives, when they went into this accident, they said that when they arrived at the scene, the doctor was missing, strangely missing, and his Michael Jackson's bedroom was a mess. So, Jaidev, if you could just show us the pictures with regards to this.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was see? This was the bedroom, and they, the investigators, they said that it was in a huge mess, and as though to create a sort of narrative, they had this. You see the bedroom; it's a huge mess, and everything is almost thrown around. And in the this image that you showed just now, can you show us that, Jit, with the doll? Yeah, and it was as if to create a wrong narrative. A human size, like a huge doll, was placed on it, on the bed, and there were a lot of pictures of children around to show that Michael, perhaps to indicate that Michael Jackson was a pervert. And then see, this was the drug. If you could just focus on the drug, Jaidev. So that's Propofol. If you could just show us that image.
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah. So, friends, that's the medicine that was given to him. It's called Propofol, and it's given only under medical supervision. This was described as a drug that had to be very carefully given and under instructions only by the creator of the drug himself. So what happened was, can you also show some other images, Jerry? So,
that's all we have right now.
About the doctor, images of the doctor?
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was Dr. Murray. And all
Yeah,
the
and
time, yeah. And all the time, even in the court, he said he was innocent. Now let us follow exactly what happened. And this is, and also the right picture. Dave, could you explain that?
yeah, this is the house of Michael Jackson. It's called the Neverland Ranch, and
Yeah.
if anyone is staying in LA, I'm sure you must have visited or you just got a glimpse of this
Yeah, I have also
property.
passed. Yeah, I've also passed by his house. It's a very,
Yeah, so
feeling of
yeah,
sadness when you pass by
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So going back to this point,
yes.
so the doctor said that he gave him the drug to help him sleep as he was nervous about the European tour. And this drug called Propofol is a preferred sedative in operating theaters because it is well tolerated and allows patients to recover. Now, when the detective arrived at the scene, the doctor was missing and his bedroom was in a huge mess. The fireplace was on and it was extremely hot. The room was extremely hot. There was a lifelike doll on his bed next to his body. Dr. Murray told them after trying everything to make him sleep, he gave him his milk, which was propofol, and he admitted giving him this drug every day for months to help him sleep. To help him sleep. And he called it milk because it was like more like a, when you take milk, you feel sleepy. And he admitted, giving this drug every day for months to help him sleep. This itself shocked the doctor who had created this drug. Then he told him he had given him CPR when he did not wake. He also told the police that he had kept his medical bag in a closet. And this is only after he was being interrogated. Now, when the investigators went into the other room to check the cupboards, they found this bag revealed a lot of things. It was, on one of the top shelves, and it had used syringes, needles, and empty bottles, and propofol, and a waste of trash. It was a treasure trove of evidence, which should have been in the room actually. But this doctor had stopped doing whatever he was for Michael Jackson, which is CPR, and he had cleaned the room and he hit the bag. This was more than an overdose. So the doctor was evidently hiding something, and the police knew he was behind the death. Weeks later, in August 2009, they realized, and when they released the autopsy report, stating that Michael Jackson's death was a homicide from acute intoxication of the drug propofol, which was given intravenously. The detective said he had enough propofol in him to down a rhino. So this was the drug that killed Michael Jackson. One of the IV bags had been emptied, and the propofol bottle had been put upside down in it. There was a big tear in it so that this liquid could drop in freely. The doctor did not want anyone to know that he was using this drug. Then the detective started investigating Dr. Murray's business dealings, his finances, his relationships. And they discovered Dr. Murray had several children from several wives. He would go to adult places and flaunt his relationship with celebrity Michael Jackson to woo young women in relationships. And he did not have the money to support his interests financially. He bought a home in Las Vegas for over $1 million and had to pay a mortgage of $10,000 per month, which he stopped paying. As per a contract, he was being paid $150,000 by Michael Jackson. So this is where the money came into it. Michael Jackson insisted to his manager that he wanted this doctor with him on his European tour. Now, Dr. Murray needed this gig to pay off his debts. He had the right motive and needed the money. Dr. Murray was later charged with involuntary slaughter, which is 4 years imprisonment, as opposed to second-degree murder, which would have given him a life term. Though the investigators knew it was second degree, they could not do anything because this was the decision of the judiciary. Michael Jackson's family was very unhappy. After 2 years of his death, Dr. Murray stood trial, and and he was questioned on it why he had abandoned Michael Jackson with no medical monitoring. And in CCTV footage, he was on phone, busy sending emails, renewing contracts, and on the phone with various people. He put all the medicines and what he had used in a cupboard and called security people, asking them to call 911 while he gave CPR, which was useless. And then he traveled to the hospital in the ambulance and then disappeared when the investigators came in. And he built a story around what happened, trying to make them believe it. So Dr. Murray was found guilty and jailed for 4 years and released after 2 years for good conduct. Can you believe it? And the fact that his medical license was cancelled. 3 years later, the same investigator was saying that when he was driving, he saw another green Mercedes, drive by his side. And who was sitting in it? It was Dr. Murray. And he did not appear to recognize it. So the irony of it was he got away with a very light sentence. In the next part, friends, we will tell you a possible Illuminati angle to MJ's death. So this is all for now. And we'll just take, in case you want to join us, I'll just send you the link so you can join us and express your thoughts as well. Friends, this is the link in case you would like to join and talk to us about the first part of the series. So here again, see, one thing I'd like to tell you, friends, is that we lost a very talented person. In fact, I think one of you said that there is no similarity to the SSR case. No, we're not saying that it is the same kind of murder. No, it's not that. But there is a very big cabal. Here we would say Illuminati, a big cabal behind all these deaths. Whether you're talking about Marilyn Monroe, you're talking about Princess Diana, you're talking about Michael Jackson, SSR, and all these deaths that we're watching, whether it's Ria Khan. And you see all these murders. There is something, even a young girl like Janvi Kukreja, that was not a simple murder. There is something much more involved in it. When it is celebrities, it's a lot of money involved. And you will see right from the beginning, in the case of Michael Jackson, he had, sort of a master-slave relationship because, Yadiv, can you just join us?
Yeah, I'm already in. I think you have to change the format.
Yeah. So, Jaidev, as you will agree, see, there was a master-slave relationship even when he was a part of the family, because his father was the one who was dictating terms to him and making him afraid, So that was, and then later it was the music record companies that were controlling him, you see. And behind all this, yes, there was the Illuminati I had, which we will explain in the second part. I think someone would like to join us. That's Anand. Yes, Anand, if you could on your camera as well.
Can you hear us?
Anand, you need to unmute yourself. Anand? Or you could rejoin. Yeah. If you could rejoin. If you could rejoin us. Yeah. So that's one thing, Jaidev. So it's, from one vicious cycle, he moved to another one when he was an adult. And from there, he moved to another, area. Finally, because of his nature, his innocent nature, where he wanted peace and he wanted to be surrounded by children, even that the world mistook in,
he had a very bad childhood, like I earlier said. His father sort of abused him, and so he kind of lost his innocence. Like when you're a child, you are exposed to like cartoons and all the good things in life, But like we earlier stated that he was exposed to strip bars and a lot of the nefarious things or the negative activities. So he sort of lost that part of his childhood, and when he became an adult, he was trying to relive the childhood moments.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's Anandi. Your name?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah.
welcome.
Go ahead.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much. It's really a pleasure to be on your show, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
I've been watching your show since the Sushant Singh Rajput case, and since then I've just tried to log in and try to catch up with any video that comes my way. Thank you so much for doing what you do.
Thank you, Anandi. Yeah, yeah. So tell us what you have. Do you have any thing you'd like to say?
With respect to Michael Jackson? Or-
Yes.
So basically, for me, I'm very new to this because, in the sense, I was also pretty shocked when I learned about his death, and I did watch the video with the Mr. Bashir that you mentioned in your previous link.
Yes. The person who interviewed Princess Diana. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was also quite revealing for me, and I was very shocked and surprised that such an interview was given by somebody so legendary, but still was so simplistic at heart.
Yeah.
And how the interviewer really twisted, the whole interview.
Oh, terrible. Yeah. Can't go through it.
Yeah.
But so thank you so much. Thank you. Monica, would you like to? Yeah. Good.
Yes, hi, Meena ma'am and Jaidev. Hello,
Hi.
yes. So, this case, when it was happening, there was really a roar here, and everybody was like, "What's going on?" Everybody was coming out with like different theories, pretty much like what they did with Sushant as well. And one thing I didn't get was if you realize in the coroner's report, right, there was two autopsies performed for him. So there was one where the family had asked if they could have another autopsy done on him, which was a bit weird. I mean, when it happened at that time, it did strike me like, was this a plan?
Exactly.
Or because it doesn't sound like a normal, like, I mean, it's usually if someone dies, right, you just do it once and that's it, but they were like trying to push for another one, which made me feel like, why are you not convinced, by what they're showing, so that put thoughts in my head as well. But what do you feel about it?
Yes, there is. See, for example, now when we come to the second part of the session, which is the Illuminati connection, Monica, you'll find a lot of reasons why they would not have wanted him to live anymore. So when we do that session, we will realize there's a lot more, because see, this doctor is only a small cog in the wheel. He just wanted to spend money and have a a lovely life. Yeah,
he was just
and he looks nervous all the time. So even in court and everywhere, he looks nervous. And
it was very odd, and they were not showing any feeling, like they were just like, oh, but we want another autopsy done, and it was like, okay, are you not convinced? Yeah. It's strange.
Anandi, you'd like to say something?
No, I mean, I'm just listening, and for me, in the whole case, there's so much similarity between Sushant's case, because
Michael and
exactly, I didn't think about it until you mean the previous stream that happened. I was just trying to make a comparison on my head. And
here, and see, if you remember, see, all the time they were trying to control SSR.
Yes.
The very fact that Pia was planted like a, what do you say, a honey trap. It was only to control him. And when he lived in his own house, they used to apparently do black magic.
There was some news about that.
Yes, to make him scared. But he wasn't that type. See, he was an intellectual who knew much more than what these people were trying to put into his head. But that was the start, of inducing him into moving into their direction, which is cutting off the parents, cutting off the friends. So I think
were
Jisha,
trying to erase him.
One second, Monica. I think Jisha is trying to contact us, but Jisha, you're not able to. You need to connect your devices, which is your, your mic and your camera. If you could come in, And even if you don't want to come on camera, at least your audio should be clear. So that's not happening. Yeah, Monica, you were saying something.
Yeah, no, I was saying that they were trying to erase him, like
Yeah, yes.
you know, yeah.
Absolutely,
So
like the
I left
movie
it at
Eraser.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma, I just have a question. Do you just like Sushant, who was really trying to expose the industry? Do you also know why and what was the reason why he was killed, and whether he was trying to expose something and that's the reason why he was killed?
Yes, definitely. See, one thing is, through whatever we have learned about what he was planning, and his group. There was a group of about 20 to 30 people who were working with him in exposing what the underworld, dirty happenings in the underworld, and how they're all linked to, the exploitation of children and women. So it's like he was doing a private investigator's job. So the moment people realize that, see, this is all a huge business. So if a mafia gets exposed, then that means that everything gets closed. So just like, Sunanda
true.
Pushkar was trying to expose IPL. See, if she had exposed IPL, it would have led to the biggest family in India, the
Right.
dynasty.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? See the links, then everything would fall off. So it is to cover up that all this, that this poor lady was killed, and then to say in the court that there is no evidence when there were millions of marks on her body and her neck, and injection
Yeah.
marks everywhere. And then they say that the only witness was Shashi Tharoor's servant, who will very conveniently say that he didn't see anything, because all the time he was saying that she was sleeping, in the bedroom. So everything, see, as you said, in SSR's case, everything was working towards exposing, the kingpins in Bollywood and in among the politicians, and of course NGOs as well. There were some NGOs who are exploiting the children and women. So all this would have come into the limelight, and then a lot of other things would have happened where all this would have been dismantled. So you see, if everybody, see, today also, if you see, I was reading this news about Shilpa Shetty. Now she's back and doing a photo shoot and in the dance show or whatever she is. This lady has absolutely no shame. She's saying that.
Yeah, she's back, right? Yeah.
And she's saying that all
my
women
God.
stand with me. I mean, which women will stand with you? Your husband is exploiting women, and you're telling us that all the women in India will support you. No, we will condemn you. So these kind of things that where PR is pushing them into the front and making them seem as if they are innocent. That's the problem with our media. Our PR.
When they can't find anything else, they play that woman card.
And if you
I'm a woman.
Monica,
Come on.
Monica also, if you read some of the articles on Michael Jackson, what we just said now about the investigators, nothing is covered.
Right.
We just say that something isn't there. Why?
Right.
I mean, why can't you speak the truth? Such a famous man has died.
Right.
It is your duty as a press, to tell the truth. Why is the American media hiding? So again, they're also they are bought. You see, so
of course they are. Yeah. It's just sad though.
I can't thank. I'm sorry, Monica, if I interrupted you.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just saying it's sad.
I'm just very thankful to the social media, because if not for this, for instance, just like we mentioned in the previous videos as well, even Shridevi Madam's death was also just, we just could not pick up the momentum and the movement that we formed for SSR. It did not exist, and even somebody like legendary like Michael Jackson did not have the necessary coverage that should have had.
Yes, exactly. What do you do, Anandi? You're a student?
I'm based in Germany. I'm actually doing research. I just completed my PhD a couple of years back.
What is your subject?
In bioinformatics.
Okay. Oh, really great. So nice to meet you and talk to you.
No, it's a pleasure, because I'm always looking forward to having Deepthi ma'am. And even I wrote a chat message. I don't know if you saw in the last video. I just posted a message asking.
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay. Deepthi ma'am is also joining us soon.
She's coming on Monday. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
She was traveling, and she was, she went to meet the CBI top officer, But since it was a holiday, she said she'll meet him on Monday.
Okay.
So let us hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep my
Sanjay?
fingers crossed for her, and she's
Yes.
phenomenal because single-handedly,
Yeah.
not when I say single-handedly, she's really facing a lot of
She's
bullets.
very brave.
Yeah.
She's very brave. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
Yeah. Welcome, Sanjay. You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on
Sanjay.
mute, Sanjay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
No, yeah. I wasn't planning to come on, but you talked about Shilpa Shetty, so I couldn't resist because I watched her for 2 minutes on that show.
You couldn't stop
and
yourself.
I couldn't believe this
do you
lady
also
has
know
got to say
what was the
that,
reason why he was killed, and whether he was trying to expose something, and that's the reason why he was killed?
she says
Definitely.
that
See, one thing
she
is
gets all this.
whatever we have learned about what he was planning, I think somebody can turn their TV off, or your 30 people who are working with him in exposing what the underworld.
Miss
Vijay, if you can just off the TV or
Yeah.
mute it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Welcome, Vijay. Welcome.
So,
ma'am, you're mute.
Like this Shilpa Shetty, I mean, like I just watched for a minute and I just switched it off.
Yeah.
She says that like she gets all her inspiration, like women like Rani Lakshmi Bai and all those things.
Oh my God.
Can
Give
you
me a
imagine
break.
comparing?
Like,
I mean, the audacity with which they really
Yeah.
doing it's
makes our blood boil.
Yeah, so that's why
What a load of crap.
Yeah.
But
in fact, her sister, Sanjay, her sister is also in Big Boss. So in case you want to see both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't think even her mother is any different than both these sisters.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
But anyways, I had a question. When I look at all these innocent people getting murdered or whatever, whether they're intellectual or talented or whatever it may be, I don't understand what benefit, who is getting the benefit.
Sorry, KB, your volume. Can you mute
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Sanjay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. There was one question I had, like people like SSR, Disha, or even Michael Jackson, or people like they are getting murdered, but like I don't understand like what who is getting benefited by killing these guys, like who are talented and innocent. Like I mean, they don't have anything, like grudge against anyone.
No, see, Sanjay, see, there is a very big group called the Illuminati. See, they have their own agenda, which we've been explaining earlier in our earlier sessions as well. In the second part, we'll explain exactly what goes on behind, why they want certain celebrities, removed from the scene. So Michael Jackson is it just like it happened to Marilyn Monroe, or Princess Diana. So there are many cases like this. In fact, I also think Sushant Singh is also a part of it, and many others. It's not Sushant Singh; it's many others. So globally, these people are all around, trying to control the people who rebel, who want to create another. See, they don't go by the rules, so they don't fall in the same thing as they are expected to do. So that could be the reason, Sanjay. We'll explain it in the second section.
It's okay. I'll look forward to it. When are you planning that? Like become Monday?
See, within a few days. Right? Yeah, within a few days we'll do that as well, Sanjay. So perhaps instead of Princess Diana tomorrow, we can on Monday we will do Michael Jackson Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Welcome KB and welcome Vijay Lakshmi. Ma'am, you're mute.
KB, you're mute. What? You're mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're back on. KB. You're back on.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
She's back on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya.
Always nice to see KB. Always.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you so much.
So nice to see you.
So nice. Thank you. Yeah. I was just taking off from where Sanjay ji left. Sanjay Shindeji was asking about why innocent people like Disha were getting killed. In my opinion, it is because they were going to reveal something very big, where big names would get involved in such a way that they cannot escape. So they had to shut those mouths. In a way, I mean, that's what I feel, that why they were removed.
Yes, whatever they do is being exposed. So that could be the main reason. Yeah.
Yes,
Vijaya,
yes.
Vijaya, if you would like to join.
Please, ma'am. Please. Vijaya, ma'am, please.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
This is the first time I'm talking to you. I'm really
thank
very
you. Thank you for joining.
And I keep, ma'am, I keep listening to all your, the evening news every day.
Yeah.
It's really mind blowing, ma'am. It's you're doing a very good job. And
Thank
even
you,
I wanted to talk to Deepthi madam also.
Yes.
Because really, ma'am, she's a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
We get a lot of aspiration. Like when we look at her,
motivation,
we really get motivated and this thing. Ma'am, coming to the present situation, I used to think, ma'am, before everything was like, before everything came to limelight, but I used to always think, why, when only few people, though, see Salman Khan, for example, many people doesn't like him. Somehow after some time, maybe initial stage people were liking him and they were watching, but after certain stage where people really got fed up of him, and but still they used to come, they used to act in movies and all. This is sheer this PR work only.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, Vijay ji, just yesterday I think he was in the airport and he was stopped by one of the officials because he had to identify
the CISF.
The about time someone did that to him.
That was sweet revenge for all of us.
Yeah. Even when we heard, before about even Shah Rukh Khan, twice he was stopped and he was in this thing and all. It should happen to them because they really feel as if they are something different from this world at all. They feel that they are something very great and all.
Yeah, if you remember, when Ajay Devgan was sitting in front of Rajnath Singh, you saw the way he was sitting with his leg up.
Ma'am.
Absolutely no respect. They think they are
respect.
the
Exactly.
top. And he's a senior person. They never gave any respect to him.
Ma'am.
Jaya Bachchan even goes around like he hitting people, Like if the press comes to talk to her, she shoves them and like, I've seen that lady has lost it, man. I swear to God, like I've never seen anybody behave this way in my life. Really.
That's true, ma'am. That is
Can you
true.
imagine what Amitabh Bachchan faces every day?
Oh my God.
Ma'am, but still, even in spite of so many, see, now people started recognizing everybody, but still they are getting ads and they,
here, Vijay, see, I'd like to tell you, the ads are controlled by the same group. For example, you have the company called Quan, which is a talent agency, and then you have a company called Cornerstone, which actually generates ads, and they deal with the ad. So you will only see a Virat Kohli, or you'll only see an Amitabh Bachchan, or a Sara Ali, or a Alia Bhatt. You will never see, the
others.
When you see a normal girl from college, it's such a refreshing change,
Exactly.
rather than
That's
all these people. In fact, Anandi, you could also model as one of the
ma'am. No, ma'am. When they were called to the, by the, NCB. Did you see the way they came, ma'am? Especially Sara Ali Khan. She came as if she is very innocent with, acting again with specs and all. That's what.
See, it's also, Vijay, see, one thing very irritating for many of us is that, if something doesn't work, then they look at another alternative. You see how quick they think. They're quicker than us. For example, each and every movie now that they're making is based only on army. And then what they do is they invite the army people. Now, we cannot abuse the army people. Okay? So they think that, this boycott Bollywood will stop with that. But see, boycott Bollywood is an emotion. It is an emotion.
Yes,
Can
exactly, exactly.
So that they can't play.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Meena ma'am, we are intelligent enough to understand. They should not underestimate our intelligence.
Gone are the days. Gone are the
those are
days
their
of
tricks.
fooling us. Yeah.
But they've been fooling us, and see,
for very long.
all these days, they have fooled us for a very long time. All these ways we were not knowing all these things, but now that but even otherwise, there is a limit, for everything we are. It is not that we trust everything whatever they say. Just because Amitabh Bachchan endorsed some this thing, we are not going to go and buy that, isn't it?
And why are they hogging the ads? I mean, the ads leave it for like new people, right? Like everybody, they just want to hog everything.
Yeah,
they want to do
the
everything,
food.
ma'am. Yes, exactly.
In fact, Monica, see this when Vicky Kaushal, there's a picture of him acting just like Sam Manekshaw. Who's Sam Manekshaw? He's one of the greatest patriots that India ever had. And this
Bangladesh Liberation War.
He was seen in a party, taking drugs in the Karan Johar party. And you want us to feel the same sort of josh when we see him as Sam Manekshaw. It is making us, feel so humiliated.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't take it.
Exactly. We can't take it anymore year after. It's we have given them long this thing.
Makes us
yes, ma'am.
They are more confident now.
Today, I wanted to tell you an interesting thing. I just read a news piece about Kriti Sanon, and they were asking her something in a quiz, and she said that she wanted to, if she could, she would marry Prabhas, the Telugu actor.
Prabhas, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They had given her some sort of a quiz, and marry you or something, and she said that if she's given a chance, she would love to marry Prabhas. Now, just a few months back, a year back, she was in love with Sushant.
Exactly. It's not even been a full year, and wow,
and the
great.
case is not solved, and you've already changed your affections for somebody else. I mean, aren't you ashamed?
Even they change colors, they change feelings.
Yes.
Yeah. Feelings mean nothing.
Bad taste.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All about the money, the ads. That's it.
But I want to say one thing here, Vijayji, that the people who put these advertisements, I send them a mail to the organizers or the manufacturers that I'm not going to buy your product if these people are going to advertise for it.
Yes,
I'm going to boycott your product. And I will suggest all the viewers also, if we are boycotting Bollywood, we should even boycott these products. We are not going to buy the products which are endorsed by these people.
Yes,
exactly. Exactly.
So, and I was so happy to see Amitabh Bachchan's voice went off from that COVID warning thing on the phone. Oh, I was one of the happiest persons. We were fed up of listening to his voice.
Yes.
I call him the Thali uncle. He's the Thali wali's husband, so he's the Thali uncle.
Thali uncle.
Yeah, so we should do that. When the more voices will protest and write the complaints to the manufacturers that we don't want to listen to these druggy people telling us what to buy. You better get us some of these Olympic gold medal winners, and they can advertise better, I suppose, or a young model like you just said about Anandi.
Yeah, she could be the next.
Refreshing.
Yes.
We have some refreshing faces. Yeah,
exactly.
She's got such a pretty face. She should be.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, don't you get bored like seeing the same people year after year? Come on.
Monica. In fact, the very fact that Kriti Sanon is running after these Telugu is because these Telugu artists have a huge fan following.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to piggyback on them. See, because anyway they lost the Bollywood.
Bollywood, right?
Now they will piggyback on Prabhas and.
You better inform them that look, they are finding for new scapegoats. Please.
So, the tricks they do to promote their careers, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And it's not easy to climb on Prabhas' shoulders. He's quite a huge man.
Actually.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Anandi? I mean,
I just wanted to say, I think, I'm also new here, so I will also express my hello and greetings to other members here. I just wanted to say that I mean, although they are all endorsing products, I think even Sushant had mentioned in his diary that none of them even use those products, right?
Yes.
Right.
Pretty much what they claim to or how they show themselves is definitely not the face that they are in reality. So that is also extremely heartbreaking that we all think, we look up to them. For me, to be very honest, when I heard about Amir Khan, I used to really idolize or even think he's a great actor. And of course, maybe he is one, but unfortunately, we always connect his on-site personality to his off-site personality.
Yes.
And when the bubble is being broken, something within you, so it's like your childhood has been taken away, kind of a feeling. You've been cheated all your life.
No,
they act on screen, but they also act off screen a lot of the time.
Anandi, see, I used to watch a lot of the songs which I liked, in Bollywood. Now, when I watch the same songs, I feel disgust.
Yeah, it makes you cringe, right?
Yeah. We say
I don't
actors,
feel watching movies anymore. Somehow,
play
the
acting.
very image of thinking of somebody killing Sushant that keeps haunting me all the time. It's in a way it's good because at least I'm not watching them.
Here I think, Anandi, see, I feel, now you can also correct me if I'm wrong. See, I feel that there is a very strong political force that is pushing Bollywood into making these narratives about army, stories, and telling them that you take army on board so that the Indian people will never attack the army. So you will be accepted, and then people will start seeing your movies again. I strongly believe this is a political advice given by some top wigs, big wigs, to these actors and producers. But correct me if I'm wrong. I feel
they are trying to exploit our patriotism.
Yes.
Right.
Because we cannot touch the army.
Correct.
No, even for me, the movies like Gunjan Saxena or even Razi, it didn't really, initially I was like in awe, but when I actually started looking at the movie, there was so much of an anti-national element.
So many,
exactly.
Fine.
Not only anti-national, anti-Hindu.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, in Shersha, see, there are some dialogues that are purely, based on homosexual talk. Okay, we know Karan Johar is gay, but that doesn't mean he needs to carry his dialogues
he needs
all
to
over,
rub that in every film.
into the movies as well.
Yeah, I get that.
When decent army people are talking, they don't talk that way. It's all ridiculous.
True.
And then they also try to glorify the antisocial and the wicked person. They try to glorify his life and show him as if he has been victimized, just like
KB, in this film that this girl Kriti Sanon is acting with Prabhas, she's acting as Sita.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Again.
She's
how many Sitas? You have Alia, but
all of them want to emulate Sita. So,
oh God!
only Hindu stories.
Yeah, they seem to be obsessed with our Hindu gods and goddesses.
They don't have any.
Let them make with some other religion.
Can't have them. Can't leave them.
They can't. They wouldn't dare to do with any other religion. They know Hindus are tolerant. That's why they are exploiting our business.
Yeah, they are.
On the other hand, if you really see, even the so-called, this very mindset of even Hindus trying to be very, I don't know what this liberal mindset is. I'm not trying to say I'm very old, but maybe I can call myself youth. But even for me, it's extremely difficult to talk to people. Even in general context, it's very easy for them to speak about their own religion. But they always, they have this mentality that, unfortunately, they are minorities. Nobody's denying that minorities are minorities. We respect every community. But they're just not thinking that, what you are able to do in your own community and religion, that is only because of the freedom that
I had a stint, Anandi. I had a stint where I was teaching senior students, and some of these senior students are now mothers and they have children and all that. So they do connect with me on Facebook, KB. I think you'll find it interesting. So now I do communicate with all of them because they all like me a lot. So, at some point...
We all like you a lot.
We all do.
You're wonderful.
I think that's with all of us.
But this story is a little different. Okay? So one of the students, she told me that, she was talking in such a way that, I shouldn't talk about any atrocity done by any other religion. So I said, it's not that I'm against any religion. But if, a religion is teaching you to abuse women, we cannot tolerate. Because in India we are so used to freedom. Our parents teach us to study and do what we like and push our careers. And when you see another sort of a section of people trying to control their women and put them in a cage, I don't like it. And you won't believe it. My student told me that, man, see, you're a bigot. And so you are, you don't like this thing, certain section of people. I said no, but then I felt a little disappointed because she's from the present generation, and if she can't understand how to segregate,
it's sad though.
It's sad. She hasn't learned much, so when actually Anandi said that, I was reminded of that, because there is a lot of the younger generation who think it's very sophisticated to be sitting on the fence. It's not. You have to take a stand.
At some point in time, you have to take a stand. Exactly. And education teaches you the same thing. You have to take a stand. That's why you go to school. That's why you learn, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like what's the point of going to school if you're just going to be like, oh, but I'm on the fence. And I know I've got friends who are like that too. They'll just be like, oh, but you know, we are all humans, and we are all this and that. Yeah, we are all humans, but this group of people don't seem to work in that way. They are happy to not be humans.
And it's not that we are mocking them. They themselves are mocking their women.
Exactly, right?
They're not doing anything. You're doing the harm. By citing that.
Yeah, unfortunately, even in the South, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the movies that are being made in the South of late. And there was a recent movie made by he's a RJ turned director. We all looked up to him. He's called RJ Balaji. Even when he directed a movie, it's called Mukutyaman, where Nayanthara acted in that movie. It was I was very shocked, because he's somebody who really speaks his mind out. That's what I always thought he was. But even in that movie, he very cleverly portrayed Nayanthara as Aman, as the Devi. And there were also scenes, for example, there were also these, when the Christian community, there were also a mockery, not mockery, but there were very many videos that were made where they touch the CD and they get that, they all get the power of God. Those kind of scenes were very cleverly deleted or edited from the movie. And it was very centric, very Hindu centric. So when I kind of brought this topic, even amongst my own friends, I was really questioned, saying, how can you say like that? They are minorities. And I keep reminding them, Indians are the global minorities. Other religions, only in India. Other religions have, we are minorities, right? Globally, we are minorities. And unfortunately, been so open and very inclusive of every other people. We have been taken for a ride, and even, for example, the temples, we can keep speaking about this, but it really pains me. Although, it scares me also, because unfortunately, India, all the entertainment, everything that we have is only movies.
See, and here, Anandi, I'll tell you another case. See, in a movie called some Kerala Kitchen or something, a Malayalam film. A girl is brought into the house, and it's supposed to be a very patriarchal house where everything is done according to the men. And then there comes a time when she has to go into suppose to be secluded because she's having her menstruation. So for 4 days she has to remain with him. And then how the rebellion starts, and you won't believe it. They started connecting it with the Sabrimala issue. That is when I realized, okay, there is a very secret mission in this movie. So when a temple is insisting that you can't go there when you have your periods, that is it. You better do it, because it's been followed by centuries. There must be so many things behind it. Okay, there is a temple in Kerala where men cannot go. So you have to follow those rules. Why are you trying to tell us that only in Hinduism we have everything wrong, and in all other religions everything is okay? Hunky dory. You have a Christian bishop who actually raped the nuns.
Oh no, churches are the worst. I'm sorry to say, I belong to a part Catholic home, but I can tell you, oh my God, the abuse there is horrible. Okay, like. It's just that it doesn't get talked about much, but some of them even get like raped and molested. It's bad. It's horrible. It's horrible. That's all I can say.
The very factor here, Monica, is that our religion can be talked about and criticized. Okay, but their religion remains guarded and secret. Why?
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. Why can't you talk about their religion? And why is this bishop getting so many promotions? Wherever he goes, he gets a red carpet. Why? For raping people.
Okay. And they make films like PPK, you know, where I felt bad, okay, because I belong to a part Hindu home as well from my dad's house. So we used to like follow both, you know, growing up. So I felt bad. Like I saw like the way they showed Lord Shiva there, you know, he's running away and like come on, man. Would you have tolerated it if it was like Christ, or if it was you know,
See, perhaps,
allow something,
Monica,
you know?
perhaps there is an explanation for that, because
Mhm.
see, in their community, if you talk against their religion, they get excommunicated.
Oh yes, you are not supposed to ask anything, and they say that Hindus are backward. Like in churches, you're not supposed to ask anything. You can't ask anything. It's like the word of God. That's it. And I mean, I love going to church, but I don't think that God is going to punish you for asking things. Come on, you know.
Sin and punishment. Yeah.
Like,
Vijaya,
use your
would
brains.
like to say something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to add on to that what Monica ji just said, that she says that she follows both the religions. Even I was brought up in I grew up studying in a convent. So, you know, we used to even attend the chapel and church services. It was like we treat every religion equally. And when I grew up, I used to get a lot of solace going to the church. So there was you know, even though I'm a Hindu, I go to the temple, I do my fasting and whatever. But I even was attending the church on Sundays. We had the morning mass. So I used to attend the morning mass. And after about 6 months or a year of attending that, one fine day I find that the priest is telling me I was wearing a bindi. And he says, "Why do you wear this?" I said,
Oh, come
just,
on.
you know, okay. So then he says, you know, Satan enters through here. So don't
So
wear
why
the
did you
bindi.
think that God can also enter through
Maybe I'm
here?
scared now.
Dumbass.
You know, so it was, I'm just sharing an experience, and I told him, so why are you touching me? Whether you're
This
touching
is
my
why I
forehead
don't
or wherever. So, and you know,
I
it
think
was,
three of us, that's KB and Vijayaji and me, have to be really scared now.
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but these people just, you know, they say anything that comes to their mind. You know?
yeah.
Like, think about it
I found
before you talk.
So he says, you should not, next time when you come, don't wear this and come.
Oh,
I
nice.
said, I'll prefer
How
not to
rude.
come. I said, I'll prefer
That was
not to come.
disgusting. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I
you
mean,
know,
we're
if
going
you
to...
have to
Yeah.
look at my appearance and talk about my appearance, then what are you praying? We are supposed to be praying to Jesus here. We are not supposed to be looking at each other, what have we won and what we haven't.
And also, KB,
Exactly.
see, if you look at marriages, you know, a Hindu marrying into their religion is okay. But, you know, but when a girl marries into a Hindu, you know, boy's home, that is not allowed. And they get ostracized.
Right.
Yes, true.
Simple as that. You know.
Yeah. So that is one thing. And the other thing I wanted to see, you were talking about the people on the fence who don't want to take a stand regarding the social injustice. True.
Yes.
But I find it very strange that when I talk to people about Sushant's case, or yesterday, like I was talking about Sunanda's case, that how the murderer goes scot-free. And people tell me, oh, you are still stuck up with Sushant's case. I say,
What do you
what
mean
are
we're
you
still
talking?
stuck up?
I've stopped looking at movies. I don't even know which movie is up on.
Exactly.
You know, I've stopped looking. Even when the ad comes, I turn the channel. I don't want to see that ad of.
See,
right,
here, KB, I'd like to say something. See, anybody who has gone beyond SSR, you know, are heartless. Okay.
True.
And I'm talking about the same case with Jia or with Jhanvi or with Divya or all these people. If you can forgive the murderers, then you're not human. You're not human.
And what happened if it happens to one of your own, you know? Like, I don't want to curse anyone, but I mean, it could, right? Yeah. So what are you going to do? Wouldn't you want people to help you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I told him about that. Tell me, Jayden.
See, if you remember Rudy Giuliani in the US, he had a lot of guts to single-handedly take down the mafia.
Right.
So I think someone similar in India is needed, who has a lot of guts, and
Agree.
he should
Fully
be,
agree.
to dismantle the Bollywood mafia.
Yeah, but you see the kind of problems he has been facing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
in this connection, I just want to say one word, ma'am.
Please.
I think I strongly believe when Yogi comes to power, like when he becomes our PM, things will change, ma'am.
Yeah,
You have seen
absolutely.
the way he has done in UP.
Yeah.
I think, see, I was a very big follower of Modi ji, but now what I feel, he is very. I mean, he does everything very good for India, but still at this moment, India requires a lot of
A
a
strong
person
arm.
who is, yes, exactly. I mean, a person who cannot tolerate things like, he can really take out. I mean, see, he has got full support. Indians are going to support him, but still he is not able to take that courageous step.
Yeah.
He's not able to do Rahul
See,
Gandhi anything, ma'am.
also Vijaya,
Yes, ma'am.
see Himanta Basu of Assam is
Yeah.
very similar. He's been catching all the child traffickers, the
Exactly.
drug trafficking, and he's every day. Yesterday, I saw him inaugurating an old folks' home, and then
Okay.
inaugurating a bridge. So many things within a short time. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
this is the what you call the qualities of a true leader.
Exactly. That's what. But I mean, Yogi Adityanath, I feel, because the way he has gone on route, I mean, be it our community or anybody, he has not seen that. He has gone on everybody, and he has.
He doesn't differentiate.
He doesn't see. Yeah, that's what. That's a very good thing, and I think he should become our next prime minister.
Absolutely.
Definitely see a lot of change. That's the thing. Yeah.
Then Swara
he is
Master
very brave.
will have to leave for Pakistan.
Very brave, very brave. Because he doesn't. He doesn't have anybody behind him, and he doesn't encourage his sister. Ma'am, I saw in one interview, his sister is still having holding a shop, a small provision store or something in the hillside, on the hillside. So that means he has not entertained anybody from his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I think also because he's a yogi, right? He causes, and also therefore the distance that he might naturally have away from his family.
Yes.
And also he didn't go for his father's cremation, right? Because during the COVID times, his father was. I think we really need leaders like that.
People like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
absolutely.
That's what I'm telling. I wish he should be our next prime minister. Then it will be really
Maybe your
very
wishes
good. He
will
will.
come true.
Oh yeah, yes,
Vijayaji,
ma'am.
even I agree with you. I agree with you, Vijayaji. We should have a brave, bold person who can take bold steps without any favoritism or any fear.
Yes, exactly.
In that case, I find Modi ji is a little careful. He's a little diplomatic.
But, he is very
Jogi
diplomatic.
ji doesn't care.
But don't forget the fact, KB, that it is Modi who has brought him to power.
Yes. That is
so
true.
I think indirectly he's telling him, you go straight on. I will play a little diplomatic.
No, ma'am. Modi ji, the changes, Modi ji has brought many changes, but
we need a strong leader.
The current situation in which India is,
we need a very strong person.
Yes, very strong person. Modi ji is very diplomatic. He can't, he will not handle that kind of this thing.
See, first of all, Vijaya ji, the very fact that, not even one Bollywood person should be invited to Government of India. They do not deserve it. Okay?
Yeah.
So they should be banned, banned from there. Okay? Till the Sushant case and other deaths are, proven, we don't want to see their faces.
Yeah, exactly.
I second you on that. Meena ji, I second you on that.
No, yes. That is true.
That is very much needed.
Exactly. Yes.
Because it makes us cry when we see them.
Exactly.
And another thing we need Modi ji to desperately look into the judicial system.
Yes,
after yesterday's verdict, I'm so disheartened. We need to have a stringent judiciary, and there should be time-bound cases for people. Should not be dragging the cases and going on for 15 years and 10 years and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That is true, ma'am.
Maybe not even one word from the BJP government about Shashi Tharoor's, the clean chit.
It's surprising. if we have a BJP in the center and still the opposition is getting away with murder, I wonder where the country is going.
Yeah, see, yeah, exactly. But the main problem is that's what I mean. In one interview, I heard that because all these what do you call the bureaucrats, ma'am, they don't support. Yeah, this bureaucrat system only is spoiling our country.
Yeah, they are
Main
the
thing
ones.
is,
They are the ones.
yeah, they are the ones. So see, and another thing is these people, especially this Congress region, because they were for long years, quite long years, all these judges, everybody. Everyone are appointed by a part and parcel with Congress. So he's unable to. I mean, though he wanted, actually, he's not able to do it. That is his. That is the main problem.
See, for example, in Maharashtra, there is a politician called Kirit Somaiya.
Yeah, Kirit Somaiya.
The way this
he's
man
quite
works,
outspoken. He's quite
very outspoken.
He has been digging out all the scams. In fact, a few days back, his car was stoned, and he was attacked. Okay, but all the focus is still on Fadnavis, who I find is not clean like this guy. Okay, so we should have a leader like Kirit Somaiya in Maharashtra. We need a chief minister like him. We need transparent people. We don't want people who are, sitting with Bollywood one day, sitting with NCP one day, with Sonia Gandhi one day, and with, Uddhav Thackeray. We don't need such people. We want people who are answerable to the people.
Yes. He had a meeting with Mr. Naughty, and after that, the Sushant case went in the other direction. Fadnavis?
Yeah, because his wife is very much in awe of Bollywood.
Okay. Oh, is that so? Okay.
So men are usually scared of their wives.
Yeah, okay. So because she idolizes Bollywood, he is playing up to them.
Oh my God.
And Yogi doesn't have a wife.
Yeah, that's the greatest plus point.
That's a very big plus point. No, ma'am. Actually, they are scared of their wives because the wife knows all his secrets.
Yeah.
It is not because of any other reason.
Yes,
the only thing is they all know they know the reason. They know all the secrets. That is the reason they are scared of wives.
Maybe all their wives should come to power then, ma'am. Then probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, ladies.
But, the present, yes, ma'am. Wonderful
talk.
Evening, ma'am. One last word, ma'am. The present. I mean, except for few newcomers in politics, almost all the old politicians should go away, ma'am. Then only our. Because I'm not saying only about Maharashtra. In every state, you will find the olds,
See,
they are all
in Karnataka, a person like Tejasvi Surya, is very, focused. He speaks very well. He's not scared, and he can really give people, in the same coin. So these are the kind of people we need. I agree with you, Vijayji, very much.
Even the chief minister of Assam is quite good. The present chief minister. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, ladies, all of you.
Thank you.
We'll start with KB. Thank you, Vijayaji, Anandi, and Monica. Always,
thank you so much.
Nice to talk to all of you and hear your viewpoints and the sense of humor.
Really a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much to all of you wonderful ladies.
I always feel so good being here. It's like a family now, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you so much. So what we'll do is Monday, Deepti will be coming with her diaries, and then Tuesday we will continue with Michael Jackson. So please come with your points of view as well. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wish you happy
Take
Onam.
care and good night. Good night. Happy Onam to all of you. Happy Onam.
Happy Onam.
Bye.